humans behave strange in a way, because when you are observing their behavior, then you come to the conclusion that they are the only species that behaves in a way that makes you think that they are coming from somewhere else. So it's like there's a place outside of the universe, and they come from there, and now they're coming into the universe, and it's like everything's so foreign. It doesn't feel like home. It's like something I have to investigate first. What is the universe even? What is Earth? It's like we have so many questions. And then when you look at animals, they don't ask these questions, because the way they behave seems like it's just obvious. It's not even, why would you question what this is? It's home, obviously. It's like we have always been this. But humans are like, they develop this separate self. They come into existence seemingly from outside, from somewhere else where the real home is. That's why some people believe in a spiritual world, because they think there needs to be something that's better, because I don't feel like I'm at home here. So there must be a heaven that will feel like home, but it's not here. So humans seemingly come from there into this world, and then it's like everything's so foreign. What non-duality is saying, basically, that this feeling that things are separate and so different and foreign and cause anxiety in you, all these feelings, they come from a false belief. The belief that there is a separate self inside of this body, and this separate self is somehow it's like a soul or a center inside of you, and it comes from a different realm, and it's just temporarily making a short adventure here on Earth for whatever reason people are imagining. And what people want is, they want to have a little bit of heaven on earth. So they try to be virtuous and all. But actually, once you recognize that this is heaven, so the separate self dissolves and there's this unity, and all of a sudden you want to behave virtuous because there's just love. So the separate self makes you feel like everything's so, like everything that's outside of you is out to get you. It's like a problem, and you want to avoid it, and you want to be secure. And even when you're at home and the door is locked, you still feel like, you have to protect something. There's something that you need to protect. And once this separate self dissolves, there's a completely new feeling. It feels like this is home. There's no reason why I should try to understand what the universe really is, because it's like so intimately known that I have always been this, and it's just being creative, and it wants to express itself like this, and it's beautiful. And this body is just something that's arising out of it. And the possibility to recognize this is free, open, available for everyone. But the thing is, when the separate self is suffering, obviously, because it believes in something that's not true, for example, that this earth is a bad place, or it's dangerous, or you have to be protective all the time, you cannot let go, then you're suffering. So then the separate self is trying to do something about it. For example, watch non-duality videos or awakening videos. But once you have a technique, then you're doing it, and then you're still caught in this movement of the separate self. So the separate self is trying to do something to become whole, to become one with wholeness. And but you already are that. You don't have to do anything to get there. You just have to recognize that it's already the case. And for me, the best way to recognize it, to remember it, so to speak, is by relaxing. So what a lot of people do is they are suffering already, so they are conditioned to constantly stress and seek and search for happiness. And then they hear about non-duality, and then there are so many concepts about, the ego, the separate self, presence, and then don't think. There are so many videos about it, and that can perpetuate the search, because then the ego wants to understand it so that it can finally let go, or if it believes that it can only let go once it has understood everything. But you want to have real first-hand realizations of what those people are talking about. So you can't understand it mentally and then let go. You have to let go first, and then those realizations come to you. So then there's this feeling that you actually know what they're talking about. The people, who are writing books or who are making videos about non-duality and awakening. So you let go. You're basically dying. Feels like death, because the one that feels like I'm dying, the one that can let go, is the separate self. So the feeling of me being very tense and having to find something because I'm unhappy and I'm suffering, that thing is the separate self. Or in the end, we could even say that it's just an arising in the real true self, but it's still the illusion of there being a separate self. And as long as you think that that's you, then it's hard to realize that it is just an arising in consciousness. So that tense, seeking separate self doesn't have to invest so much energy in seeking, but rather invest your time in relaxing. Because somehow, I don't know how to explain it, but once you are able to relax, and you just are, then there's just you're exhaling, you're relaxing, and then there's just this moment, and then something can finally die, and it's a peaceful death of the separate self that was dragging around all this trauma from the past. And now finally you're exhaling and you're dying, and you see, you know what, there's no point in dragging all of my past around, because I'm going to die anyway. And then there's just this moment, and then everything's just okay. So that's what can happen. Or you can investigate and do it the classical way and ask yourself, who am I? Until you realize that there is just awareness without center. And this, as soon as you find out that there's just awareness without center, then this concentration, this focus of the mind is relaxing, and then you realize that awareness actually has no location, and everything that's arising is arising in it, and it is made of it. And then when this realization happens, automatically the body can relax. Or you do it the opposite way, like the way I did it, is just relax, and then the realization comes to you. But the body cannot fully relax and let go as long as there is an ego, as long as there is a separate self, because it needs to cling to a problem. Like, oh no, I'm going to die. I'm going to fail. I have already failed, and I have such a miserable life, and I have to find that thing called enlightenment, and I'm seeking, I'm searching, and I'm trying to get it, and I will get it. Now will be the most enlightened person. And people like that have texted me on Instagram, trying to become the most enlightened, But it doesn't work like that. You have to die, and then you will recognize that there's always something that's greater than you. When I say you, I mean the separate self. Something that's greater than the ego that could never die. And that's a mystery. And meditation is basically always just an investigation into that mystery. It's never truly known, but it always comes with mystical feelings somehow, for me at least. It's like meditating, dying, sinking, diving deep into it, and there's this euphoric feeling, recognition that there is no separation, everything is rising out of the same source and is the same source already. And the nervous system is regulating automatically. There's no search anymore. You don't feel incomplete. You are complete. You are relaxed. And out of that relaxation, out of that feeling of fulfillment, you can create, and it will no longer feel like you are personally creating it out of your will. It is just something. There's a feeling of I'm creative. I just have to do it, and then you know it's not really the thing that you're doing. Is like the universe is doing it through you, so to speak. But yeah, it's just an invitation to go home. It's already there. It's already here. Just relax, fall into the arms of it, and you'll see.